Hey, what's going on, guys? So it's John with Just Thoughts. I just met this guy. You can say your name if you'd like. What's your name, man?
Sam Jones.
Samuel. Good to meet you, brother. Okay, so basically, he started the entire conversation with him beatboxing, which is pretty cool. He sounded really good, and he might take that long term if he can find the correct advertisers and marketers to be able to help him out. So if you guys know Samuel, go ahead and give him the opportunity so that he can be successful in whatever direction that he wants to go to. So Samuel, first question, man. Are you experiencing some difficulty with the coronavirus?
Um, Not really. Not really, actually, no. Um, I don't know how to say it. I'm middle child of nine, and I'm working at a grocery store, so I guess that's considered like one of the, it's more essential jobs. So I'm not having too many problems with, not getting any work. I'm still at home. I just graduated this year, so I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. That's why I've been practicing beatboxing, but I'm still not, I haven't really looked at colleges or anything yet. So, no problems here.
Sure, right. So you're talking about college or high school?
I graduated high school this year.
Right, that's awesome, man. That's really good to hear. Now, if you're interested in beatboxing, I'm assuming that there are a lot of companies that would really appreciate the skill sets that you have to offer. Okay, so currently, are you into like politics or anything like that? Are you familiar with the direction that we're currently going?
Not too much. I don't pay too much attention to politics just because I know a lot of the media out there can have their own opinions on things. So I don't like, if I ever do get into something or I find something interesting, I take a lot of time to process the information and really look into it
Sure.
before I make like my own assumption on it. As far as I know, uh, Trump has coronavirus, but that's about it. I think that's like the most recent thing.
Yeah, man.
So
We're all basically praying that he gets better because it'd be definitely beneficial for the country for us to have our leader in command at his 100% mark. So yeah, from your perspective, right? I'm a little bit older than you. What is kind of making it difficult for the younger generation to be interested in the political sphere that we're currently experiencing?
I would say number one would definitely be the media. Definitely the media. I think if having a bias against one particular person, we're hearing the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
Just makes all the younger people think, oh, well, I already know the story. I already got it. Like, they don't really take the time to dive deeper and really look, which is why I think a lot of younger people, especially kids my age, will just make assumptions because they're like, oh, it's the same here, here, and here, so it must be true. Like, well, check the facts just in case. I also think, and this would be another difficulty is since so many people have one opinion on something, and all those people having this one opinion, like that Trump's a bad person or that Joe Biden's a bad person, or whatever that might be, pressuring everybody else makes all the younger people really not interested in politics. They don't want to get into it because they don't want to have any conflict. They don't want to break their friendships. They don't want to have any arguments. They don't want to create problems, basically. But along the line, it actually ends up messing them up even more because they weren't really with their friends to begin with because they weren't brave enough to say anything and kind of end that.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of the disconnect that I'm seeing, or from your perspective, is that there are people that usually have difficulty being involved due to the fact that the combative nature of our two political ideologies is too conflicted for them to agree upon making decisions and being able to agree upon new policy and legislation that would be beneficial for the majority of the people that are entering the workforce. So a lot of those difficulties I see personally could be solved with a few different factors, right? Like one of the things that we should introduce is the ability to be able to create a stronger connection between the representatives that we have in our political sphere and the people that are on the ground, like the individual citizens themselves. I think that the disconnect that's happening is due to the fact that the people that we elect into the position where they're creating the policy and legislation, right, aren't familiar with the difficulties, with the hardships that the people that are on the ground, the individual citizens, have to go through. So it's like a self-revolving type situation that is essentially forcing people to be, to have this mindset that the political sphere, the political spectrum, is basically making it harder for the individual citizen to be involved in being able to create change. And so those are some of the difficulties that I see. If you had the opportunity, like let's say for instance, you're going to be heard by a lot of people, right? And you had the ability to create one piece of legislation or policy or something like that, right? What would you do? What do you think would be beneficial for the majority of the individual